today we are going to make a duck wreath. And to make this wreath, we're going to gather our tacky glue. We need some ribbon for decorating, some 30 gauge floral wire. It's really strong but still really thin. We're also going to need some pliers to help us form our shape. So I've got a couple different kinds here. Some scissors, some wire cutters, and some orange felt for our bills. We have two versions. We have one version that's using nature, so pine that I collected from the backyard. And then we also have a fake version or fake pine version that you can keep from year to year using some garland that I found at the store. I also have some dried pieces of lavender from our chicken garden that we're going to add to our wreath as well. To get started, we are going to need to form our duck shape out of our hangers. And to do this, I grabbed some wire hangers. And if you don't have any, you can go to your local thrift shop. There's plenty of those there. And we're just trying to get that basic shape of a duck. If you're not sure, you can go online and look at some shapes or even draw the shape on a piece of paper. I cut the hooks off of my hangers and I'm just leaving that twisted piece there as a holder kind of for our bill when we glue on our felt piece. So here's what they look like after we form them all. Now we're going to take some of our 30 gauge floral wire and we're just going to wrap it back and forth on our wreath. And all this is doing is creating some extra places for us to attach our pine pieces to. You can use some poultry netting if you have any, or some hardware cloth as well if you don't want to use your floral wire. But I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this all the way around. And this is what it looks like after we've wrapped our pieces, just creating some places for us to attach our decorations to. Our first version that we're going to work on is our version using the garland from the craft store. And you only need a piece that's about 12 to 16 inches in length. And I really like using this because it actually has wire inside this, so the version I found has wire in it. And it makes it really easy to form around our duck shape that we've made. So you're just going to start to work your way around, bending those edges in. Use your floral wire if you need to attach in the center. My piece of garland that I had so much wire in it that I didn't even have to use any of the floral wire, but you may want to attach a piece on the inside to hold your pieces into place. And just start working with it. This is the fun part where you get to make your duck come alive. Here's what it looks like all finished. I went ahead and I glued my bill onto that piece of wire that was sticking out. Now we're going to add a bow on here, and I like double knotting my bow just to make sure it's going to stay in place. And I also really like using ribbon that has metal in it or wire in it, and it helps it just to kind of hold its shape of your bow. So you're going to get that all lined up, and I trim off the extra tails on there. And then we're going to add a nest for our ducks. So we're going to use some of our lavender pieces that we have, and we're going to stick those along the bottom. And you can use a little bit of glue to hold those into place, or you can use some of your floral wire, or if their pieces are sticking on their own, you can just stick them right inside of there and build that special nest for your duck. So I'm going to keep adding my pieces of lavender, kind of putting those in different directions on the bottom of our wreath. I also found it was nice to take a piece of floral wire and tie it in the center of the nest, and it kind of pulls everything together. And here's what our wreath looks like all together. Your last step would be to add a hanger along the top, and you can use some floral wire or a little bit of twine works really good depending on where you're hanging your wreath. To make our pine pieces wreath, we're pretty much going to do the same thing we did with our other wreath, only we're using those pieces of nature. So I'm going to cut my pine pieces into smaller, more manageable pieces, and I'm just going to start to work my way around my wreath. I like to cut some pieces of the floral wire as well, so I can kind of tie as I go, filling in the shape After we've cut out enough pieces to fill in our wreath, I'm going to grab some of my floral wire and start attaching my pieces to the outside of my wreath. You can also attach your pieces to those pieces of wire that we've woven through the center of our wreath as well. And here's what our wreaths look like all completed. I made sure to add a nest and a bow and a bill to our pine pieces wreath. Be sure to add a good strong hanger to both your wreaths when you're all finished. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I've given you some inspiration to make some duck wreaths of your own. If you have any questions, be sure to visit us at meyerhatchery.com. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and when you subscribe, click that bell so you're the first to know when our videos have been released. Happy holidays!